This just in, Sofia Boutella is really hot, just in case you didn't know. Atomic Blonde, or John Chick as some people are hoping this is. So Atomic Blonde is a new spy action movie starring Charlize Theron as Lorraine. She's a spy for MI6, which means she's British, and she tries her best at a British accent, but in the end, no, not buying it. She goes on this mission with a convoluted plot and she meets James McAvoy and Sofia Boutella, and now we have our movie that's trying to be John Chick. The reason people are saying that it wants to be like John Wick is because it's from the same director, David Leitch. And I saw John Wick. I didn't see it in theaters. I watched it like last month. It's a pretty cool movie, yeah, sure. I still haven't seen the second one yet, but I like the first one. Atomic Blonde, it was okay. The acting was really good. Charlize Theron kicked all sorts of ass. James McAvoy was really good. But I'm gonna give a shout out to Sofia Boutella in this film. Like I said, she's really hot, but also, this is probably the best acting from her I've seen yet. Her character had a lot of depth, gave a lot of emotion. She really impressed me in this movie, so good for her. Rest of the cast, pretty forgettable. You even have Toby Jones and John Goodman in this movie. They're like her superior agents. Like I said, the acting is good in the movie, but the problem with the movie is the plot. I'll get to that later, but sticking to the positives, let's talk about the action. Holy yeah, the action in this movie is brutal. It's awesome. This is the aspect that's trying to go for like John Wick, you know, because it's really stylistic. It really is the star of this movie. It is really fucking impressive. I'd like to believe that Charlize did a lot of her own stunts. I'd totally believe that. The standout scene, and I don't feel like it's a spoiler, is where she's fighting two guys in a staircase. It's all one shot. It goes on for like 5+ minutes. And there's actually no music in the background. Usually in big action scenes, there's music in the background. For like all the other action scenes in this movie, there's music. But for this centerpiece action scene, it's no music. It's all about the sound effects and the stunt work and the camera work. It goes on for a while, and it is really impressive. And it's Charlize the entire time, I'd like to believe. Might not be everyone's cup of tea, but for me, it was really impressive. It was brutal, too. This movie's pretty violent. Props to that. So the acting and the action in this movie is a plus. The minus is, like I said, the plot. When she's going around kicking ass, you're in it, but like any other scene where there's just dialogue between her and any other character, I got pretty bored. Because it's all about the marketing. The movie was marketed as a non-stop action thrill ride, pretty much. Unfortunately, in this movie, there are a lot of scenes where there's downtime, and I just rested my head like this and watched the movie. Felt like I was plowing through it. I did check my watch quite a few times. But this big plot that's going on is really not what the movie's about. The movie's about the action, but the downtime did take up a lot of screen time in the movie, so it dragged it down quite a bit. Made the movie feel longer than it really was. And speaking of that, there were like 3 or 4 different endings in this movie. This movie took forever to wrap up. Like there was a point I thought the movie was over, and then there was like another 15 to 20, maybe even 25 minutes left of the movie. I was like, alright, so this is the epilogue. She's chilling out in a hotel. Oh my god, no, there's another action scene. There's more story? Okay. The movie didn't really know when to end. I will, however, give all sorts of props to the soundtrack. The music in this movie was awesome. The movie takes place in 1989, so of course the soundtrack is going to be all 80s music. The best. It seems to be a popular thing these days. A lot of big movies these days have soundtracks with 80s or 70s music. They've proven to be a hit, so hey, keep them coming. I love rocking out with action scenes. But not only the soundtrack in this movie was good, but the score. Tyler Bates composed a score for this film. He did the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, and more than any other movie's score, this score reminded me the most of Portal 2's soundtrack. Never a bad thing, because Portal 2's soundtrack is one of my favorites ever. Definitely worth checking out. So in the end, Atomic Blonde, I'll say, is a very pretty movie. It's great to look at, you know, it's got really good acting, awesome brutal action scenes, and a great soundtrack / score. But in the end, it was brought down by a heavy, convoluted plot that it just didn't need. It is worth checking out, but not for the full price of admission, so in that, I will say, wait until this movie's at a discount theater, then go see it. And that's not just like if you want to, I think you should go see it because the action's really cool. It is definitely worth checking out. So Atomic Blonde, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Whatever you think, go ahead and leave a comment. And don't forget to subscribe.